while people are getting on, I want to welcome Kai back. She was in Detroit last weekend with April.
Yeah, shout out to April.
How was that?
It was dope. Like, I can't wait to go back to Detroit. Like, I'm always going for something, so I never get to fully experience the city. So I want to go back and just like.
Did you hit a restaurant while you were out there?
We did. We went to some place called Ghost something.
Food good?
The food was great, but I was dealing with the whole dental.
Yeah,
thing.
That's right. That's why you was out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so I couldn't fully engage in all of the foods, but we went there, and then I can't really remember the other spots.
Yeah, I was lit.
But
and shout out to April Walker because they gave her like
shout out to April. She has a studio in this the HBCU that's in Detroit, Penn Lewis College. And so she has a whole studio over there. So it's dope. Yeah.
Dope. Jason's not with us today. I heard he had a pink tutu on.
I should have taken a picture of him.
Yeah, I don't know, Rock. I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? But shout to Jay. We got a lot going on, man. Best Style Live is this Saturday. We got DJ Enough coming out to Fulton and Marcy to rock out with us.
Shouts out Cafe.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's on a Saturday. Yeah, it's on a Saturday, man. You know what I'm saying? And I just, I'm always honored when he chooses to rock. And I always seem to be calling a brother in the last minute. And, it always works out. So shout to DJ Enough. We doing that this Saturday on Fulton and Marcy at Restoration Best Style Live. It's the 20th anniversary of Best Style Live. So we got a lot of things happening, but Enough is going to be on from 3 to 5, right? So, you can wake up, you go to brunch, get your little mimosas, right? And then fall into Fulton Street at 3 o'clock. All right, we're going to get started. If y'all read what I put up on IG, then you know that this connection is family. Shout out to CEO Mook, he's in the building. I was on the phone with Mook because I was talking to Mook about the Enough piece, and he said, yo, look, you heard this joint, and he sent me a joint. And what happened? What's that? You gotta turn that down.
Oh, sorry. I forgot I was connected. I was testing the sound.
Right? So, we was on the phone and he was like, yo, I got an artist, he's fire. Did you hear the joint? So I'm like, nah, let me hear it. So he sent it to me. And I had heard it before. I don't listen to radio much, but I had heard it on the radio before. So I'm like, yeah, nah, this shit is fire. Like, I know this song. So then he told me that you did the On the Stoop podcast. Shout out to my peoples on the Stoop, all of y'all. Sir. Y'all know it's all love. We both did it. Kai, you did On the Stoop before. I did On the Stoop before.
I did On the Shout
right?
out to
and so, once Mook said that, I said, I got to get you on Conversations at Hip Hop Closet. And we had an opening today, so I immediately went into closing it. Like, yo, is he available tomorrow? Mook said you was, and we here. I can't wait to hear. I love talking to young artists. We do a lot of...
Sorry, keep going.
We do a lot of... It wasn't even on, huh? We do a lot of OGs. We do a lot of people who have had runs and careers in hip-hop. At some point, I actually got to get Mook to sit in this seat to talk about his career in the game. So we do a lot of that, but I love talking to young artists because I love hearing new passion, new ambition, and kind of what brings you to this point. So that's the conversation we're going to have. I want to present to some and introduce to others. Rock Official here. Always.
Yes, sir.
What's up, dog?
Not much.
Good.
Blessed, honored, humbled to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Definitely appreciate being on the platform. I've definitely seen more than enough of your content and things like that. Definitely a fan of the content.
Appreciate that.
And just a fan of the culture in general. So.
Yo, they have your song on iTunes.
Yes.
So tell me, how does that happen? How do you get a song like that? Like, how do you get your song to be used on official, not like unofficial, but they got like your icon, like your album cover, like the whole shit.
All right, so it depends on how you want to go about it. Right now we're doing everything independent.
Right.
So we going through independent distributor, whether that be I use well, the team uses DistroKid, but you can go through either them or TuneCore or CD Baby. There's a bunch of different there's a bunch of different ones, but essentially the process is you pay for it. It's a subscription based thing, and you just upload you upload your music, you upload your album art, you fill out the information, royalties and everything, so on and so forth, and then you release.
And it's out.
Yeah.
Now, do you have the analytics on how many people are using it?
Absolutely.
So I used it today. I'm hoping that'll spur
something.
People to
Anybody who, and man, this is like just experiencing this level of success right here is just just a blessing and an honor. Like I really do this for the love of the music.
Yeah.
Of course I want to be up there with the greats and things like that, but I really do this for the love of the music. If I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't be.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay. Where were you born?
Jersey.
Where in Jersey?
Where in Jersey? It's this little place called North Bergen.
Okay.
Yeah.
North Bergen's not that little of a place.
Yeah.
But okay. So you're from North Bergen?
Yeah. But currently right now I'm repping Patterson.
So you're in Patterson?
Yes.
Yeah, so my oldest daughter's mother is from Patterson. I know Patterson very well. I used to take what's the Jersey Transit? It's 161. Is it the 161?
Yes.
I used to take the 161 and it would drop me off. She lived on 33rd Street.
Oh wow.
See? Yeah, shout to Jody, Imani's mother. 161. I used to have to take the A train. This is when I was young, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had Imani when I was 20 years old, right? So I used to have to take the A train to Port Authority and then hop on the 161 to Patterson to go get go get Imani and then come back. She's a 2-hour ride, when you broke. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Shout out to Patterson, though. A lot of real things pop out in Patterson. So you grew up in North Bergen? Or in Patterson?
That area.
That whole area.
Yeah.
What type of kid were you?
Really just a regular kid. For the most part, because I grew up, both my parents are not from this country.
Where they from?
My mother is Dominican. My father's Israeli.
Okay.
Yeah, and
that's an interesting man.
Yeah, and it happened in New York City.
Are you Jewish?
No, I'm not. I have my own.
That's all right.
My own beliefs and things like that.
That's cool.
With growing up in that household, I didn't really get the average, U.S. kid experience. Like I didn't really grow up like learning about the culture and different things like that. So I kind of had to like learn as I went. So I got a way more, culturally diverse, I guess, upbringing, as you could say.
Let me ask you this. So you was born in 1997, around that.
Yeah.
So you was like 4 years old when 9/11 happened. Do you remember 9/11?
Oh yeah, like the back of my hand.
I'm always curious about that because like I was grown when it happened, but my daughter is 2 years older than you, and so her memory, her recollection of it is totally different than mine. Like,
oh yeah, I remember sitting in class and it happened, and we're all getting ready, like everybody's getting ready to leave, and I remember I almost made it like a little competition in my head who was gonna leave last because everybody else was gone. And my father, I don't know where he was at, but he was on his way to pick me up, and I got called to the office a million times, like, no, I'm still on my way, I'm coming. So it was between me and a friend of mine.
Y'all was the last two in the room.
we was the last two in the room, and I ended up leaving before he did. So yeah, I remember that like the back of my hand.
Yeah. You got siblings?
Yes.
Older or younger?
Younger.
You're the oldest?
Yeah, just one though.
Okay. Girl or boy?
Younger brother.
Younger brother.
Yeah.
Okay. So North Bergen County, Patterson, that area.
Yeah.
Junior high school. What high school you went to?
High school. I went to high school out in actually West New York, because we was moving around that area. So like Memorial High School.
Okay.
In that area.
Okay. What you wanted to be?
Honestly, like at that specific point in time, I didn't.
You didn't
know.
Uh-huh.
And then, but I always had a love for music. I always had a love.
Tell me about it. When did your love for music start?
My love for music started when I was 13, and well, really, growing up, I love listening to music. I love the radio, and you know, that's where you get music from. Like I wasn't like big on, and neither was my parents. My parents wasn't spending no $300, $400 for something that they could get for $50 so I could listen to music on and things like that. So wasn't big on the iPod thing or whatever, but I was always big on music. Right. And then one day I'm sitting with one of my friends and we sitting in his house. He has a keyboard. I didn't even know how to play keys at the time. I was just fiddling around. And then he played something. He played a cover that John Legend was doing. You remember when he came out, Slum Village, and he featured on it. What's that song called? Selfish.
Yeah. I'm calling. Baby, I'm selfish. Yeah, that's the
out
shit.
Too.
Yeah.
So he played the John Legend remix of it because he did his own thing to it. And I was listening, I was singing with him, and he's like, "Yo, bro, you could sing. Like you could really sing." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm just copying what he's doing." And he's like, "No, you sound exactly like him. That's not normal.
That's not normal, right?"
Yeah. So very next day, he's like, "Yo, I'm taking you to the choir teacher right now." And that's what sparked it. The rest is history. You know.
Now, is it genetic? Is it hereditary? Did your mother sing? Did your father sing?
My mother was a singer, but she was more so into the church and things like that. When my mother growing up, she grew up in a Christian household. Her mother and father were both pastors. So she grew up in the church, and she would sing and things like that. No instruments, but she always had me around music since I was young. Like, you know when your parents try to put you in things and you like, "Nah, but I don't want to do this." Like, so funny because this is a full circle story. My mother put me in guitar lessons when I was young. And I was killing it. And then I seen a kid playing the piano, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I want to do that."
You want to play the piano?
Yeah,
right?
I want to do that. And then she's like, No, you're doing so good with the guitar." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to do it." So then I ended up like, she got upset. I didn't want to go to the lessons no more because I wanted to do that. Hard-headed. And then years later, I ended up picking the guitar up by myself. And I always look at that story as like, man, if I would have just picked this, if I would have just shut up and just listened to my mother,
rocked with it and just had it for the whole time.
Yeah, it would have been a whole different,
But I mean, the universe ain't called for that.
No,
right?
absolutely.
It was a different thing. Did you pick up the guitar before that time when you were singing in your man crib and he was like, "Yo"?
No, that was after.
So it was after the singing. So you knew your penchant for singing before you actually got into the guitar.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked that is because there's a science to music, right?
Absolutely.
So I used to play the piano when I was young.
Oh.
I used to play by ear. I was never like classically trained on the piano, but my aunt was a jazz pianist. And so what I would do is I would hear songs on the radio and then I would play them on the piano, right? So like Tina Marie, Patrice Rushen, like this the 80s, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so years later, what I found is that there's a study that looks at young children who manipulate instruments. And what they find is that if a child plays an instrument, that instrument opens up a mathematical kind of cavern in that child's mind with regards to music and notes.
Absolutely.
So kids that play instruments are better singers than kids who don't play instruments
100%.
Because the kids that play instruments know the notes. They are playing the notes.
Absolutely.
And so all they're doing is mimicking. That's why I asked you, because when you said you was mimicking John Legend, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense if you were playing instruments.
Yeah, and it's funny because I stopped at a time when it's like, mind you, she put me in guitar lessons when I was like in kindergarten. We would go every week on the weekends.
Yeah, that shit affected you. Yes.
And I see that now.
Yeah, it affected you.
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
was playing guitar in kindergarten, right?
Yeah.
And you was playing the G, you was playing the F, you was playing the A.
Yeah.
Mentally, you was holding on to those vibrations, and that makes you a better singer.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right.
And I thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom, for that. Because if it wasn't for that, I don't think that my love for music would be as deep. Even though, like, in the grand scheme of things, it was such a small moment in time, but it just shaped, like, my mindset and how I think now.
Let me ask you, what type of kid were you in high school? Like, what table you was at? The jocks was you at?
Oh, I was with the nerds. I ain't gonna lie. But I knew everybody. Like, and one thing about me is that I just did what I loved. I didn't necessarily care for, like, oh, this ain't cool or that ain't. I don't care about that. I'm doing what I love. Right. So, you know, I was an athlete. I played football when
what position?
I played wide receiver. They had me at tight end for a while. They had me at they tried me out at linebacker. I was doing all right, but I didn't have enough time. But tight end was more so my favorite position. I could really get down and dirty and still, you know, be able to make flashy plays, things like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you leave high school and then what?
Leave high school, go to college.
What college?
Going Bergen Community.
Went to my daughter went to Bergen Community.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Imani went to Bergen Community for a minute. She wound up graduating from William Patterson.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Love William Patterson. Love the program at William Patterson too. So I went to Bergen Community, and we'll keep it a buck. I only went there for like a year, and that was based off of the fact that I just felt like, you know, there was just a little bit more for me. Like, I felt like it was, for me, it was just a continuation of high school. Like, I wasn't one of those kids that, like, struggled to kind of get through school. I was one of those kids that was like, I got bored real easy because a lot of the stuff was like easy for me to understand. And I'm in classes with other kids and they're just like, how do you do? And I'm like, that, and then you do this. And so I was very quick on picking things up, you know. And as I started making my way through college, and I felt like, hold on, why am I? It's kind of like a repeating cycle here. I was just like, nah, there's got to be something more. So I kind of like went on a journey of self-exploration for a while. I was helping my pops. My pops always had work and stuff like that, so I was helping my pops out with a lot of different things over the years, just helping him with his business.
Now, when did singing become serious for you?
Singing became serious, I'll never forget it, 2020, around that time, I was introduced to this man by the name of Dills. Everybody call him Dills, Malik Dills. He had a studio on Market Street in Paterson, New Jersey.
Shout to Market Street.
Yes, sir. And at that point, you know, I hadn't really recorded too much in a formal recording studio. I had some experience in high school, but other than that, it wasn't nothing serious. You know what I mean? It was something like, it was whatever. So at that point, I met him, and he was like, you know, I heard about you.
How did he hear about you? What did he hear?
One of his close people. I had been moving around and things like that, and you know, singing and things like that. And he saw me one day, and he reached out. He was like, "Yo, you're super dope. Come through to the studio." I'm like, "All right." So I go through, and he's like, introduced me to this guy, and he's like, "Yo, I heard about you. I heard you do music." And I'm like, yeah. So he's like, I heard you multifaceted, da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah. So he's like, you mind singing for me? I'm like, sure, whatever. And I sang Ordinary People for him. And his eyes was like, who is this kid? Who's this kid? And at that point, he was just like, all right, so what are you really trying to do?
Right.
And I could say I thank him for, you know, giving me the opportunity to work under him and kind of just have the freedom to have a space to work. Because if it wasn't for that, definitely the professional, the first leg of the professional part of my journey wouldn't be, you know, wouldn't exist.
So in terms of rapping, right, and like rhyming, rappers are expected to write all of their own rhymes, right?
Absolutely.
But R&B singing is different. You know, singing is a vessel. A singer is a vessel. And so, you know, R&B singers by and large are not necessarily expected to write their own words, right? Mm-hmm. Do you write?
Absolutely, 100%. And you know, just to add a little bit in there, my first love was actually hip hop. So I understood like the need, the want to write, and to actually express yourself. I feel like for me, if you're not writing for the most part, or you're not very much involved in the process, it's like you losing a lot of your own genuine story. Like you're allowing somebody to capture the story for you. And I'm a big proponent on be yourself, don't be nobody else, because everybody else taking. You know what I mean? So I learned from a very young age, like I have to, if I'm going to do this, I have to be able to do this genuinely, and do this very well.
What's the first song you ever wrote?
Oh man, wow. I was in high school. I just picked up the guitar. I don't even remember the song. I'm gonna probably end up like rewriting it and putting it out, because it does hold a special place for me. But
I remember the first song I wrote.
I
I'm not fucking with y'all. Yeah. I remember the first song I wrote. The first song I wrote. You want to hear the title? No. I wrote it in 4th grade. You want to hear the title, Kai?
Hold on. I bet you.
I even know one of the bars.
Not for nothing. I believe my title is probably better.
Yo, you want to hear my title?
Go ahead. 2022. Chasing Dreams.
No, excuse me. I'm sorry. Not 2022. 2002. 2002. That was the title of my song. You want it? I got a bar. You want to hear it?
Yeah, go ahead.
In 2002, stop laughing, Kai. I'm dead serious. I know my first song.
No, I'm laughing. He was like, do I?
Look, in 2002, cars will be new. People will go to heaven. I'll be 27. That was a bar, nigga. I was Mo, sign me right now, kid. I'm up. You know what I'm saying? I'm up. Nah, but I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
I'll sing the hook.
Yeah.
You sing the hook. You sing the hook. But so your first song, how old were you when you wrote that?
I was 17 when I wrote.
Okay. So you was in high school.
Yeah, I was in high school.
Did you like you was getting chicks back then?
If I knew then what I know now.
And what is that? What you know now?
If I knew then what I know now. Right. That's all I gotta say about that.
Right.
That's all I gotta say.
You sure?
Yeah.
So you start with deals and you get into the studio.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you learned with regards to the work in studio?
It's completely different.
Yeah.
It's a completely different ball game. It's no freestyling, nothing.
Right.
Everything. If you're in there, it gotta be recorded, because you're wasting time.
Yeah.
You know, even though I have free reign, I don't really have free reign, because I'm given this opportunity. So I have, in order to show gratitude, you know, you gotta be working. To the point where I remember at this point, I'd only been there for, I'd say, a month. And I already had like 20 songs in the cut. And I had a conversation with Dills, and I was like, yo, what are we doing? And that's to my immaturity, my impatience and things like that. But he's like, so what do you want to do? I'm like, bro, I'm trying to make money and do what I love. Like, this is what I want to do. And he's like, bro, trust me. Just be patient. I'm already sending your stuff out. I didn't want to tell you, but since you brought it up, like, this is what I'm doing. I broke it down to me, some of the specifics, but for the most part, he was kind of like, bro, trust me. I wouldn't be having you in my space if I was just gonna waste time. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just be patient. And you know, it definitely took some time. But then to segue into when I met this gentleman right here, CEO Mook, probably like 2, almost 3 years into my journey, probably like more so 3. And you know, it's the craziest story. He comes in for a meeting. This lady Chanel Red, shouts out to Chanel Red, by the way. She comes in, she brings him in for a meeting. It wasn't even for me. The meeting wasn't for me. I just so happened to be working in the room, and then Dills tells me, yo, we're about to have a meeting. I'm like, all right, cool. So the artist that the meeting was for is already in the room. She's like, no, you don't have to go nowhere. You can stay. I'm like, all right, well, you know, let me close out my session. I was like, well, I was working, whatever, and then I'll sit down. And Mo comes into the room, and I'm just sitting there, and he's talking about some of the things that he's capable of doing and things like that. She shows her music, and funny enough, I'm not saying anything. He just walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, homie, what you do? You do something, or you just sitting here?"
Mook was gonna kick you out the fucking room.
Yeah,
He was cleaning the room. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, but he's like, what do you do? And I said, brother, I do everything. And I was dead serious.
Right.
Because I'm definitely a believer in speak when you're spoken to. And I wasn't gonna introduce myself, say nothing. I'm just a fly on the wall at this point. Just seeing how things go. And when he came up to me, I just took that as an opportunity. Like, yeah, nah, I'm like that.
Right.
He's like, all right, well, let me hear some of your stuff. And I played a few things. And then Dills from the corner, he like, man, you ain't even playing none of your crazy joints. Play this.
Shit, right.
Yeah, play this. So I play one record, and he like, is that you? I'm like, yeah, that's me. He like, what are you doing with that? And I'm like, I'm just, it was a situation, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm asking you what you doing with that.
Right.
I'm like, nothing right now. Oh, let me get that. And then it's like, man, play the other joint. So I play Can I Have You? And he's like, I don't have to hear no more. We gonna talk. And from that point on, I say like, God blessed me with not just an amazing manager, not just somebody who I feel like is for my best interests in totality. He blessed me with a brother. And I can truly say that without Mook, I wouldn't be sitting here either. Like,
so I got a lot of questions, right? That's real shit though. But so, all right, I want to I want to go here, and then we'll go to where I want to go. Sure. So this game, it's like the league, right? So, like if you look at ball, there's many levels. Like you could be in the NBA, you could be in the G League, you could be playing for college, you could be playing overseas, right? But the commonality is you're an athlete. And athletes have a certain level of responsibility in order to maintain that athleticism, right? So it's 2-a-days, it's working out, it's diet, it's nutrition, it's not being messy in the street, right? It's a whole cadre of responsibilities that 100%. Go into being an athlete. The same thing about artistry. 100%. You're an artist, right?
Yes.
And so as an artist, you have a certain level of responsibility to yourself to maintain your capability as an artist, right? Because you're in the league now, right? 100%. You're not playing on West 4th Street no more. Like you're in the game, right?
Absolutely.
So speak to me for a minute about the level of responsibility you have as an artist, and how has it changed from those early days to now? Like now, like what did you do today to increase your artistry?
Working on new records. Every single day, if I'm not studying, which I could say like the difference between me now and me then, I study records now. I don't listen to them. So for me, when I listen to a record, I'm listening to the nuances of the record. I'm listening to the way the chord changed from this to this, and where exactly in the song did he do that? What's the is it just a straight loop? How did he make the song feel like not a straight loop? How? What's the transition between the pre-chorus to the chorus, or from the verse to the pre-chorus? How did it feel like a record? How do I do that myself? So I'm very much a studious musician, artist in that sense, like, and also because I also engineer. I'm listening to the sonics, like how did like what's going on here? I'm a decent enough engineer to where I can hear something and feel like, oh, okay, well it sounds like this, it has this type of emotion to it, this, that. So it's like also listening to it sonically and saying to myself, how do I do that? You know, how do I capture that? Not necessarily like mimic it, but like take certain elements and apply it to my own music. I don't think I was even thinking about that when I was in high school. I don't even think that was a thought in my mind. Like I was just happy to be there. Now it's like gotta make this work. Like this is what I want to do. I gotta put effort. If it's not that, it's literally me singing, walking down the street. Like I'm always thinking about music, to the point where sometimes I just like to sit in silence for just a small portion of my day, just so that I can decompress from how much pressure I have up here. Because I put a lot of pressure on myself, and you know, I feel like that's what's necessary. Pressure make diamonds.
And I wish you would ask me that question.
Well, I can ask you that question, King. What's up? They can hear you.
A lot of fucking yelling at Rock.
Right.
Of
course it did. Of course it did.
It took a lot of, listen. He's a totally different dude. And I really have to give him his props for that. From 2 years ago that I met him. From a young dude that had the experience of being a great singer.
Right.
But didn't have the experience of being a star.
Right.
It took a lot of yelling. It took cursing. If you don't fucking do this, I don't want to be bothered no more.
Right.
But his shape, I can tell you he's at 94% of being molded. He still got more to go.
Right.
He's at 94% of being molded.
Right.
To where he's more absorbed coming from me now. knowing the experience that I've had working with big time artists, this, that, and third, so on and so forth, such as Dills too, because Dills is the type of person that's hands on with him. See, I'm not. This is the first, and the reason why I love Rock so much is this is the first artist that I never had to go to the studio with. I don't have to go to the studio with. And he sends me hits.
So he's like a studio rat.
Oh yeah, he's a junkie.
Right. Yeah. And so look, I want to ask, since we having the conversation, I mentioned the athlete paradigm to him, but for you it's more like a coach, right? And so coaches bring the best out of players, right?
Yes.
So for example, if like you could play for Andy Reid and be a superstar quarterback, you play for somebody else, you play for a Doug Peterson, you play for a Robert Saleh, it ain't coming out of you.
Right.
So what is it about your coaching skills that you think resonated in him to build him into starter? Like, what did you give him?
My promise.
And what was that?
To make him who he is.
Right.
Because we had the conversation before we even got the lawyers involved, got anything. And he told me, he said, listen, people have lied to me, this, that, and the third. I said, yo, I got you.
Right.
I cannot let something such as yourself and what you have go.
Right.
So my promise and what I have shown him and what I have brought him from has made me a great coach and him a great player. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna keep sitting here saying just me. I've had help. Dills is my partner. Enough is my partner. I've had help. Don't get me wrong. I've had help. But my thing is, me being a coach, he doesn't understand as the player what I have to deal with every day on this phone.
Yeah, real talk.
The text messages, the phone
real
calls.
Talk.
And he doesn't understand, like, I might be the coach, but I also have a boss too.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I
right.
have
You got the
that,
GM, you got the owner, right.
So I have somebody over
right.
hiring me, yo, Rock need to do this and do it. So as a player, I gotta bring him on a court, tell him, yo, this is what we need to do. Yo, we need to get into a 3-2-1 position, or we need to get into a 1-3 position. You get what I'm saying? So just being the coach that I'm trying to be better with him, because I'm gonna be real with you. Rock was the most hard-headedest freaking player I've ever had.
Right. Well, he's Dominican.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But you know what? The thing about it is,
and Israeli. Fuck out of here. He ain't listening.
But the thing about it is, he didn't have the artist development thing around him.
Right.
See, that's what 97% of this industry is missing. Period.
Is artist
None of them
development.
don't have artist development.
Right.
You know, so when Rock does an interview and he makes a mistake, or listen, homie, you can't do this no more. Or when Rock does a show and it's something that we catch, yo, you can't do this no more because it's not fitting you.
Right.
So don't do this. So take that out of your show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's all just building a brand and building him higher. So recently he had a show which we're gonna implicate this in all his shows now, which was dope. Young lady got on stage with him and he's saying, "Can I have you?" And the women in the crowd went crazy.
They went crazy, right?
So now that we see that, now we take that play and put it into our coach's book. You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Right.
So everything that he has done, I give him credit. It took him. It's just like me and you. Remember how it took time for us to grow up?
Right.
It took time for him to get it and for him to understand. And then, you know what I really think, he could agree or disagree. I think it really took when Enough came along and he had somebody that he's been wishing played their record on the radio, and one day he heard, and to hear somebody that he admires and you know what I'm saying, and Enough's like, damn, Enough is playing my record. Like, damn, this dude really stuck to his word. And Can I Have You wasn't even his first record we broke on the radio.
Right.
It really wasn't.
Right.
I just like Can I Have You because, to be real with you, I got this ear for music. And when I grab onto a record, I grab it. and I run with it. And when I run with it, I know it's going to be platinum. I know it's going to be that record. Same way with Sunshine Anderson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That record was done.
That record was crazy. To this day, she could perform it. To this day,
heard it all before she
performed that. In fact, I wanna. We need to get her up to New York because I would cop that. People our age love that tune.
No, that's not.
But this is what I want to ask you, because I've had conversations with people about the importance of music, right, and why music is so, and why artists are so coveted, right?
Absolutely.
And so, all you got to do is go to a Beyonce concert or go to your favorite artist concert and watch when they sing that song. I've been in the audience at a Beyonce concert where it was 20,000 people, 30,000 people, and she sings Dangerously in Love, and the entire audience is silent or they're singing along, right? I've watched as she has sung songs where the woman next to me starts crying, right? Music is a powerful piece because in the 3 minutes that you create a song, the song that you create, 2 verses, a hook, a bridge, whatever, however you compose it, if it's done the right way, it sticks with people for the rest of their lives. There's certain songs right now that if I turn on the song, everybody in here is gonna sing the song. Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell. If I turn on Can We Talk, every one of us knows the words to Can We Talk. Music is very important in the human experience, right? And so you are an artist. Your capability and your potential is to affect the human experience. It's not just about making a good song, right? It's about making a song that changes the experience of humans. When you go in the studio, do you understand that?
I'm gonna say this. Music is the key to the soul.
Yeah.
And we have plenty of examples of that throughout the years and things like that, and how music has touched people's hearts, not only touched people's hearts, but changed people's lives, changed the world. So me saying that, I say that it's our duty, artists in general, it's our duty to make material that accomplishes that. Whether we decide to, create something that, me as an R&B artist, I aim for many different, I try to pull the heartstrings in many different ways. So for me, like, it could be a bedroom joint, or it could be something that is feel good, that you could play at the cookout. You ain't got to worry about the kids being there because the kids ain't gonna hear nothing out the way. Just bringing that element of music where you have music for an occasion, for this occasion, for that occasion, for I guess you could even say house music. I ain't talking about electronic.
You're talking about in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
So being as though I understand that responsibility as an artist, it's very important for me. For when I create something and I say this is done. Not in the works, not in the process of, not working on, when it's done. When I know it's done, I can talk about it however I talk about it, and you can argue with me up and down, but when you hear it, you're gonna know it's something special. Every time. Every time.
So what's your situation now? Tell me about, because I know Enough is moving the joint.
Yes.
Can I Have You? That's the name of it.
Can I just tell you this though?
Yeah.
So as of August 31st, right, he was ranked with the top 250 R&B artists in the world.
Word?
In the world.
Wow.
So since then it has moved up. I don't have the final thing, but I know he was 250K back then, so he has moved up. Record hit 4.74 million fans.
So it's streaming.
Yeah, it's doing very well.
It's streaming. It's doing well.
And honestly, we doing it with the good Lord's money, because we haven't put a dime behind it. So all this is blessings. The way the record is, and I'm being honest with you. Plus, I got other people that's helping me. Like, yo, look, I got you. Just do something for me. You know how this game goes. One hand wash the other.
Yeah, relationships is everything.
Relationships is everything.
Yeah, relationships is everything.
You know, but his record, this record, I used it to introduce him to the world. But he has records that are amazing. Amazing. He has a record right now that is guaranteed 2-3 Grammys. Again, I'm telling you, amazing. The record is so wedding song and so soulful to where you can have a candlelight dinner with your wife and you can play this like this record is, and this record, I'm gonna put to you how fire the record is. Enough played it for his mother.
Wow.
And she loves it.
Wow.
And it's, you know, one of the hardest things I had to get him to do was to learn how to take his music and turn it the other way. Because he was so stuck on one thing that he wanted to do is, no, listen, don't stay there. It's gonna work for you when you get in the industry. But while we trying to get in the industry, it's not gonna work for you. We gotta do things that people like, people wanna hear. But now, you can't get him a record. You can't get him not to do a record that, yo, this beat, listen to this. Oh, this, y'all can get on it. But he will not, and what I gotta give him credit for, what he just spoke about, he will not send me a record until it's perfectly done his way.
Right. See, you need a gym rat. Like, you need a gym rat, right? As a coach, you need a gym rat, right? You need somebody that wants to be in the gym early, that wants to stay late, right?
100%.
And so that's why I'm asking you about those traits, because those traits are very important, because that's the difference between being good and great.
100%.
Right? If you look at going back to athleticism, right? What's the difference between good and great? Everybody that gets to the league is good. You don't get to the league unless you're good. What makes you great? Right? So what, you tell me, what makes you great?
For me, I think I'm just willing to try stuff that other people aren't willing to try. They're too worried about being cool. I'm worried about making a record.
Right.
I'm worried about making the record.
Right.
I don't care what cool sounds like to you.
Right.
This is dope.
Right.
This is different. This is what's gonna make me stand out from everybody else. I don't care what cool sounds like to you. This is cool to me.
You're creating cool.
100%.
Right.
Tastemaker.
Now let me ask you this, because I had a conversation. Shout to Amelia is more, right? So a couple weeks ago, we had a conversation with a sister that was at Rough Riders during their ascension, right? And we talked about, and her and I kind of had a debate about how important it is for artists to understand the business of the game. How important is it for you to understand the business of music?
I feel like as an artist, you have to. So this is an obligation as an artist. You have to, at the very least, understand the basics. You don't have to understand the intricacies, politics, who beefing with who and who don't mess with it. You have to understand the basics on how things work, from registering your record to BMI and protecting yourself to the distribution of the record, who gets what, and who's supposed to get what, what's fair, what's not fair, how do you know you're getting played? Those few basics, you have to understand that, because as an artist, it's very easy for us to get caught up in like sunshine and fun and oh my God, I'm making all these new sounds. Look, I could do this, like, because there's a whole other side of it to where, you know, eventually people get up on platforms like this and they say, well, you know, I signed this record deal and it was the worst record deal in history.
Right.
And
let me ask you a different way.
yeah.
You got 4 hours in a day. Say tomorrow you got 4 hours of free time.
Okay.
You could either use part of that time to learn about the music business, or you can use part of that time to enhance your artistry. Out of that 4 hours, how much time are you giving to your artistry and how much time are you giving to the business?
I'm giving 1 hour to the business
And you're giving
and
3 hours
to the artistry.
I
And the
love
reason
that answer,
why,
God. I love that answer.
yeah, the
I
reason
love
why
that
is
answer.
because the artistry is the reason why I'm here.
Right.
So in order for me to continue, because at the end of the day, music is a competition.
Right.
Whether we want to sit here and believe it or not,
Right.
music is a competition. So every day I have to learn. You don't go into music thinking, oh, I got to beat this person, that person, because you're never going to make anything.
Right.
But music is a competition in the sense of you always have to keep learning. You always have to keep
Right.
adding to your artistry. You always have to listen to somebody and be like, wow, he's probably going to go up for this thing or that thing. You have to be able to have that ear and discern yourself, like what real music sounds like and what's going to actually move in the market. You
Right.
have to know.
Right.
So not only is that time for, you know, creating, but that time is also for studying, and that time is also for, like, you know, meditation, reflection. Like,
Right.
okay, what did I do today?
Right.
I did this. What do I have to do tomorrow?
Right.
And then that extra hour is like a bonus hour of, okay, now I have to be super sharp, because not only did I spend all this time enhancing my craft, which is already good, which I know is gonna get me somewhere, some way, somehow, but now I need to be super sharp, because at the end of the day, if I know I can make it, other people know I can make it.
Move 4 hours. Your artist got 4 hours. How many of those hours you want them to spend on working on their artistry? How many of those hours you want them to spend on the business of the music?
Well, I totally agree with him. 1 hour business.
3 hours artistry.
Because one thing about these artists, right, that they don't do, they master their craft, but they never master the business. That's why some of them go home broke. That's why some of them leave out with nothing.
Right. But I'm gonna tell you something, and this is what. So me and Amelia had the same conversation a couple weeks ago. Now she's in the business. She worked for Rough Riders. Mm-hmm. She worked for Arista. She worked for all these companies. She did a thing in the business, years, a whole career in the business. Mm-hmm. What I was telling her is the reason why you have so many artists that wind up on the short end of the stick with regards to their business, even though they've made timeless music, is because in order to make timeless music, I don't need my artists spending their time trying to be businessmen. I need my artists spending their time trying to make timeless music, right? And so, but we live in a different paradigm. When Michael Jackson, Prince, Luther, you think Luther Vandross knew shit about the business, bro?
You know what's crazy? You know what I just learned about him?
What? He got a documentary out. There's a documentary out.
And I guarantee you, y'all didn't know this either. I can bet y'all.
Oh, I'm sure I didn't know it.
I bet y'all a pair of sneakers you didn't know this. You know his first 2 albums was all covers?
Word?
Yep.
Luther's first 2 albums was all, and we didn't care.
Everyone.
I might have known that, but we didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
We didn't care.
Everyone. Background singer.
Right, because he was a background singer forever.
And he did what do you call it when you have the people that do the test songs? You know, like they do the songs before they actually get to the artist.
The reference tracks.
The reference tracks.
The
He was doing
demos,
reference tracks.
So Luther's first 2 albums was all covers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we didn't care.
I kind
Niggas
of
seen that.
And you listen to like Never Too Much,
Never Too Much is a cover.
All the majority songs was covers.
Wasn't that a Dionne Warwick song?
Yep.
Yeah, a lot. He probably took a lot from Dionne Warwick.
Yeah, because he
like
was singing
85% of his
the
career is
Yeah,
Dionne
he
Warwick
probably took a
covers.
lot. Because Dionne Warwick sang them shits, but come on, man. Like,
he was singing,
Pass
like,
on.
everybody knows the backup singers be
the shit.
doper
Right.
sometimes. in
But
the
that was the paradigm I was talking about, right? So what I'm saying is, my position on it is, in this new environment, I do need you to know the business because I don't want you to get got, right? But that's why you put people in your corner that you trust and love, and you trust that they're going to handle the business for you. What I need you to be is an artist. What I need you to do is go deeper. Like, I need you to swim in the deep end. I need you to go deeper than you've ever gone to bring back that jewel. Because when you bring back that jewel, like I said, it's going to change the human experience. When you bring back that jewel, people are going to... All you got to do, Rock, is have one joint that people will sing 30 years from now. 100%. That's it. That's all you... So look, I'm a writer, right? I've published books. And what I would tell people is I just want a definitive book. And by that I mean like Lord of the Flies, Roots, right? Like any of these books that were written 100 years ago, 1984, right? These books was written 80, 90 years ago, and they're still relevant today, right? All I ever wanted to do was do something definitive. And so what I'm saying is that's what I want my artists to do, boo. I want my artists to do some definitive shit.
100%.
I want them to do one joint that is definitive, and then when you do that, we all good forever. You good forever, we all good forever, right?
100%. 100%.
So talk to me about your situation now. Infinite Groove, that's the label.
Yes, that is the label.
Shout out to DJ Enough. Like I told you, he's gonna be out there on Saturday, man. You should come out if you can make it. Come out
for sure.
From 3 to 5. Enough's gonna be spinning on Fulton Street. And what's your life like? What's the last show you did?
Last show I did was the last big show I did was at SOB's, and that was an amazing experience. Enough was, spinning for Rockefeller family. Shouts out to DJ Enough again. That was such a dope experience to be on the same stage that all them brothers. Method Man was performing that night. Freeway was up there. Memphis Bleak was up there. PD Crack. All these brothers, all these amazing brothers was up there.
Right.
Blessing the stage, blazing the stage. Right. Saw Graph get chained. He got his chain that day.
That's that night.
Yes, that was that night. That was that night.
Right.
So that was an amazing experience.
We're doing something that Graph is coming out to. I need to tell you, on October 19th, I'm doing a Day of Peace, Bed-Stuy Community Day of Peace at Restoration. But we're trying to get the biggest freestyle session ever. So we're calling on all lyricists, all creatives. You could come out, spoken word, poets, affirmations. We're trying to get the biggest freestyle.
What day is that again?
That's on October 19th. It's Howard Homecoming Weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I know. I already knew not to tell you.
But I would definitely tell people to come.
Right. So I'm doing this with Chip Fu. Shout out to Chip Fu from Fushnikins, and Kevin Livingston of 100 Suits. I don't know if y'all know Kev. 100 Suits. So it's Good People NYC. It's Chip Fu. It's 100 Suits. It's Bed-Stuy Community Day of Peace. But we doing an enormous freestyle session, and Graph is one of the people that is coming out. It's coming out to sport.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on it. I want to bring all them people here, but the Tuesday before.
The Tuesday before.
Yeah, the Tuesday before. I'm trying to bring all of them here. I'm even gonna spit because I'm nice.
Okay, so
that's it. Yeah, man. Y'all keep playing with me. She already know. I already know. I spit here. I had Tech here. I said, Tech, if I spit some shit you like, put me on the album. He said, bet. I spit some shit, he liked it. I ain't get a call. I ain't get a call for the album yet, Tech. But you know what I mean? It was all good. Kai, you said you had some questions.
Yes. Dilly, where did it go? Dilly Ills. How do you feel about live performances?
How do I feel about live performances? I feel like if you're not performing live, especially if you're not able to perform live with a band, forget about the TV track and all that. You know, if you're not able to perform live with a band, with other people, create a connection and take that energy that you're giving to them and that's going and throw that back to the people, I don't know what you're doing.
So let me ask you, if I ask you to sing something right now, you would sing that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright, I never do this, Kai. I'll be nervous when I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to ask me actually.
No, I'm not gonna rhyme.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm thinking he was gonna ask me. I thought he was gonna. You know, cause I see Mook in the back. He just like, I'm wondering when they're gonna ask him. Cause he
this is an every week thing. Don't worry about it, cause she know I'm nice. Though I perform, she know I'm nice. Don't let her fool you.
She trying to really no. Don't do
I think
that.
his first 2 albums could be covers. I think his first 2
rap albums.
Platinum. First 2 rap albums will go platinum.
First off, I'm the karaoke king, so that's true.
Yeah, so it'll be
But also, I got my own shit. Wait till October 19th. I'm coming out.
Third album. You gotta get
third
these
album.
covers
This is my
on
third
first.
album.
You gotta get these covers
All right,
on first.
I want to hear you sing. First off, wait. Let me just show some love because we didn't show love.
No, we
T Capri, tequila. So this is a
I
black
think you
woman.
need to pour some of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pour some. This is a black woman-owned tequila company, B. You know what I'm saying? And we got love for her. We want to get her.
We gotta get her on.
Yeah. We know people
It's
that
very
know her.
smooth. Does anybody want to shot?
Yeah, I'll take another one.
Yeah.
We need to have that conversation. See, Mook, I'm glad you came here, dog. I need you at the couch, too. We gonna talk.
Pour it for him.
Yeah. So, all right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
You want to hear a cover? Or you want to hear?
What y'all want to hear?
I want to hear a medley.
You want?
You want to hear Can I Have You?
I heard Can I Have You. I fuck with Can I Have You.
Nah, but you ain't hear me sing it.
I ain't hear you sing it though.
Nah, and you know.
Yeah, I tried to send it to her on WhatsApp. I couldn't send it to her. And she don't got an iPhone like me and you.
I do
She
have
on
an
a different.
iPhone. I do have one.
I ain't use that number though.
I sent you the.
I said I ain't use it.
Oh.
All right, give it to us.
All right.
Pause.
You ain't have to. We all growing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, that was habit.
It's all right.
That was habit. That was habit.
Yeah, that was habit. It's all right. Can I have you, my love? Want you to be with me through the night. Can I have you, my love? Wake up to your beauty in the light. Yeah, yeah. Chance is a funny thing. Seem like I'm at the right place and time. Oh, no fibbing, you knocked me right to my knees when I saw your smile. Yeah. Let me stop.
Yo, that's first off. Yeah, you got a great voice, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got a great voice. Moo told me you do this in Spanish too.
Yeah.
So you got Can I Have You in Spanish?
Yes, we have Can I Have
See, now that's big.
Yeah.
Like from a marketing standpoint, that's big.
It's so fun because I think the song that you used for the promo was his
Was
song,
that song, right.
Okay. As soon as I put it on, Monty was like, "Is he Spanish?" Like,
Yo, that's
he
crazy.
picked it up.
He
Like,
picked it up immediately. He picked it up
I was
immediately.
like, "This song is based."
But that Spanish market is a vast market, bro.
Absolutely.
I do have another question.
Do I know the?
You know it
Bro,
in Spanish.
I gotta look at the.
You gotta look at it. Nah, but that's like because you know it in English. You know it in English.
No, for sure. I mean, if it comes to it, I'll have it ready. But I feel like this is my thing too with tapping into the multicultural market as as I call it. Like, I don't want to. I'm the type of person, like, in general, with everything I do, I don't want to just do what everybody else is doing. I want to be able to, like, approach it from a way where it's like it's fresh, it's new, exciting, something you never heard before, something that you can get down with, and it still has a little bit of familiarity to where it's like, oh, I could get down with this. It sound like something I know, but it don't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's you know, it's my biggest. That's what I look for when I'm finishing a record or when I'm done with the record. It's like, can this go here? Can this do this? Can do this? And 90% of the time, I hit the marks.
Last question I have before we go to the questions from the IG. Do you consider yourself a sex symbol? Do you market yourself as a sex symbol? Do you? Mook is laughing. I'm saying, like when you
right
on stage,
now,
like, is you carrying yourself like I'm that Nick? Like,
oh no. Trust me, the confidence is there. 100%.
no. But I'm saying, is you a sex symbol? Like, are you taking your shirt off? Are you pouring water
I'm not,
down
no,
your ass?
no. I'm not doing all that.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
no.
Because I would
Honestly,
do that.
I was getting ready to say,
I feel like no.
I would
You
do that.
sound like
I would do that. Shit.
no.
Like, I do that right now.
From the small conversation that we having, you know what I'm saying? I felt like definitely.
But I feel like the girls feel you.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You're Dominican. You're a certain height. Your voice is fire. You there with the voice. So now it's just about the allure,
Absolutely.
right, of the persona. Do you work on persona? Do y'all work on persona?
Absolutely.
Dude.
That's been his argument with me for the past 2 years.
It's persona.
His persona.
Do you know you know I'm actually his stylist?
You a stylist? Yeah.
Yes. For now.
Yeah.
For now, until we,
For now.
See, these things are things that people take for granted, right? Because you're always on. When you're in your position, you're always on, right? So right now, you can walk outside Brooklyn Navy Yard and you can see a young 21-year-old, 22-year-old woman that knows your song and has followed you. And when she sees you, she can be like, "Oh shit, you're Rock! I want to take a picture with you." You're always on.
Already. Yeah, it's happened.
Right?
It's happened. It's
But
happened,
you know
and
what
it
I
was
love
the.
about it, though? The fact that I have a 7-year-old grandson that actually can sing his whole song.
That means, right.
That
So
means a lot.
when he come to the crib, he's on. That 7-year-old's going to be like, "Yo, I love you. Like, you're my guy. I know your song."
Because he came to my house the other day, he's like, "What's up, Rock?"
Yeah.
You know, my grandson got it on his phone, both of them.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter knows. It's like, so I do things, I try to, so what I do with Rock is I try to get him to make songs to balance it out.
Right.
To where we can go 25 and under, and we
Right.
go
25 and older. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I try to keep it in the middle to work with everybody, to work for everybody. I don't want to go 35 and up and the young kids don't have it.
Right.
So I try to keep them
You
balanced.
try to keep a balance in that small space.
Yes. Yes.
But here's the thing though about that move. So like I got a 29-year-old,
Mhm.
and my 29-year-old daughter fucks with old school R&B.
See?
You know what I'm saying? Like she fucks with Drew Hill. And I'm saying old school for her, not old school for us. She fucks with Drew Hill. She fucks with Next, right? Like this is because she grew up when she was a kid. That was what was played in my house. So that's her thing, right? And so, and this is what I wanted to ask you because I want to know: do you consider yourself R&B? And let me just preface this by saying this: R&B is lost, right? Now, I'm not saying they aren't R&B artists. Because there are tons of R&B artists. There's tons of R&B songs that are fucking hot, but they get buried
100%.
in mainstream radio.
100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's lost not from an artistic standpoint, but from a mainstream standpoint.
Absolutely.
Do you consider yourself R&B?
Absolutely. And I'm trying to bring R&B back.
Yeah.
To the mainstream. Like
It's
that's
funny.
my goal. That's my goal. Like.
It's
Like-
funny that you say that. Because remember we was in caught up.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So I said, listen, go back to Chris Brown's first album, right? You can hear him when he did the song with him and Petey Crack Run It, right?
Right.
But once you go past that record, remember you only had one single from that album, which was that song. But if you go into that album, he got fire.
Got nothing.
And I'm letting rock. I said, yo, listen to this record. He's like, then I said, yo, so then now you go to Usher's first album.
Mm-hmm.
Usher had this song. His second album had this song and this song. But you gotta remember, those first 2 albums got Usher in the door. But remember, he never made his biggest record or his biggest album until he did what?
Confessions, the
There you
Confessions
go.
album. When he had Burn and all that shit on.
Confessions was him.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling him. It's okay to do your music, but get your foot in the door.
Right.
Once you get your foot in the door, and we got a gold album or 2 gold albums, go.
Have
Fly.
at it. Right, have at it. Because now you got artistic authority. Because now you've created proof of concept. And they know that you're, number one, you can sing. Number 2, you about that business. Right? Because the business is part of it, right?
100%.
Being able to perform at shows, being on time, like all the nuances, all the little things. Again, this is like being an athlete, bro.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like being able to perform night after night, having back-to-backs, having a whole week where you perform 4 days out the week, right? And not succumbing to the bullshit that other athletes or artists succumb to, right?
Absolutely.
You do that, you're gonna put yourself in a position to have artistic authority, and then you become that guy. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm proud of you, bro.
No, thank you.
I'm proud of you. You know, Mook just introduced me to your work yesterday. Like I said, I heard the song before, but he introduced me to you. He gave me your bio. He kind of, you know, primed me for this conversation. But I'm proud of you, bro, because you're doing it, right? Like, I hate when people say, yo, I'm trying to do this. No, nigga, either you're doing it or you're not.
Absolutely. 100%.
Ain't no trying. You're doing it. And you have the people around you to ensure that you do it the right way. And I don't want you to take that shit. I don't know deals, but I know my brother right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I know that you got the people around you to do it the right way.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
honest
You had him last year when we was doing the hip hop closet, when we was doing the block parties.
Mm-hmm.
We should have had him on Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
You know what it was? I'm gonna be honest with you. My opinion, and don't take this in no way, he wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. That's all right. Yeah.
And I wanted the record to actually be somewhere before. Yo, do you know how long it took us to tell it? It took us.
Yeah.
It took us almost a year and change just to. We had this record has been done
For a while.
Ain't no wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
he's been signed to me for what, 2 years now?
yeah.
The
The
That
record
record
was
done
done.
a year before that. This is a
Yeah.
record is 3. This record
It's
was
3 years old.
Yeah,
all right, but let's get to this though. That record was done before I even signed him.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Do you know he wrote and produced it?
Nah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
So you can get producer credit, write it, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Shit.
it's
But I still get my 20%. Me and Dills, enough.
I can get yours.
I'm gonna be real with you. Most amazing kid I've ever worked with in years.
Yeah, I see it. I think he's
Years.
Yeah,
No,
he's a
thank
good
you.
kid.
Appreciate you.
And like again, I feel like he's the type that he wants to be great.
100%. I'm not looking for anything less than being up on that stage at the Grammys and accepting
Yeah,
my award,
yeah,
mine.
yeah.
I'm not looking to be a part of, you know, at the end of the day, if an opportunity presents itself, by all means.
Right.
But I'm looking at this thing. And one thing I tell all my, because obviously I network with artists all the time. I keep a close-knit group of friends that are all artists. I tell them all the time, like when we have these conversations about artistry and things like that, please stop comparing yourself to the local talent.
Right.
Because that's not going to get you where you want to be. You want to get where you want to be. Compare yourself to them people that's on the radio.
If you
Compare
actually
yourself
wanna
to
get where
the-
you want to be, don't compare yourself to nobody.
Right. Be
but
you.
Now you have people.
I'm saying
following
in
you.
terms of if I had to rate myself against everybody,
Right.
like my favorite thing to say is on a scale of 1 to Michael Jackson, how good is this record?
Mm-hmm.
Because that gives me an accurate assessment of where I'm at.
So official PGRK wants to know what makes you stand out more than any other artist that has a similar vibe.
So you can hear it. You can hear it. In every single record, there's soul in it.
Yeah, I think I'll answer that because I think one of the things I hear is this like hybrid almost, right? Because so look, African diasporatic music is the whole gambit, right? From reggae, salsa, R&B, soul, reggaeton, rap. Like you can go through what African diasporatic music is, and the list is long standing.
Absolutely.
But I don't think I've ever heard a more hybrid capable artist than you. I feel like you can do R&B, but then you could also do it in Spanish and create a whole other thing. Absolutely. Right? And I don't think we've ever had an R&B artist that was capable of that. Like we haven't had. What I'm saying is we haven't had an R&B artist, right? 100%. So a lot of people, Tekashi 6ix9ine is somebody that is a pariah. Nobody talks about the nigga no more, right?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is he's created a whole new lane for himself in Latin music. He's doing wild videos. He's doing fucking wild tours, just doing Latin music now because the Latin market is a vast market.
100%.
Right? It's way broader than the black market. The
100%.
Black market is a narrow market. It's hip hop, it's R&B, right? And then it's everything else, derivatives of that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So your ability to be an R&B artist that can also, I don't want to say crossover because it ain't crossover, but can flip it into another space. I don't think we've ever seen that before. And if you can effectively do that,
oh, for sure,
that's going to be dangerous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's going to be dangerous.
I feel like what it is with me is that what I'm planning on doing, I don't have to prove a point, but I'm proving a point. Mm-hmm. That when you make music and it's undeniable, mm-hmm. don't matter what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It don't matter the language. Timeless. Yeah, it don't matter the language.
It doesn't matter the language. Because El Dia de Mi Suerte by Hector Lavoe is still popping. Hector Lavoe did that 45 years ago, and it's still a popping song. So you're right, it don't matter. We got any other questions?
Yep, Janelle X Jolie. Who's your dream collab?
Right now,
we sitting here, right? Me rhyming and all, and we sitting here, Moo. We got to make that happen.
You got to make it happen.
For real. Right now, out of everybody, male or female, Miguel for sure. That would be crazy. Yeah.
I didn't expect you to say that, Miguel.
Me either, but yeah. I could see that.
I could see that.
Yeah. Miguel would be just to be in the same room, because I definitely hold him in a high regard when it comes to not just R&B music but singing in general. He's just vocally and artistically, he's just kind of like that definition of free, no holds barred, I'm gonna try whatever, and it's still gonna be hot, and I'm gonna still make dope records and things like that. So for me, Miguel, definitely.
I like that. We got other questions?
No, but I have a question. So when do you find your strength and your confidence to produce and create music? Because it's a very vulnerable thing. You know, you're creating and you're putting this stuff out into the world, and you don't know how it's going to be received no matter what you put behind it. So are there any rituals or anything that you kind of do to amp yourself up? Or just get in the right mind frame?
What I like to, and this is kind of I do it subconsciously. I don't necessarily do it consciously, because I've gotten to the point now where it's an understanding. I know now, as opposed to when I was younger, I would have to amp myself up, or I would have to have somebody tell me. My main thing is music is my purpose. So I remember that this is what I'm here to do. Mm-hmm. This is not something that, if I go away and come back that I lose. No, this is what I'm here to do. So for me, I just remind myself every day that, this is it. you don't do this right, it's over. We don't have too many opportunities to actually, get to where we want to be. You don't get to. It's kind of like that kid that puts his favorite basketball player on his wall, and he's not putting it up there because he admires him. He's like putting it up there because he want to be him. I'm that kid.
I got a 2-part question for you. Why do you get mad when CEO Mook tells you to do certain songs? Listen, to do certain songs.
This is wild personal.
Right.
Yeah,
he asked it in the third person, though. That's how you know it's personal.
Yeah, it was super personal. Honestly, like, as an artist, for me, I'm very much like inspirationally based. It's not even nothing like personal. Like, I'm not about to force myself to do nothing and then it come out trash, and then you have that on me that I made a trash song. I'm just not gonna do it.
Right.
I'm just not gonna do it. I don't make trash. I don't make garbage. So I'm not gonna approach something from just to cause I wanna be absolutely sure that I'll be able to perform and dedicate the amount of energy that it takes. Cause that's another part of being an athlete. It's not necessarily, I don't want to play that position. I'm better at this one for right now, until I practice and I learn enough, or I sit there and I learn about that position and I understand what that position carries. I'm not gonna be a small forward and hop into being a center. That's not how the game works.
Great answer. But here's my second
Yeah,
Yeah, because you had a part 2.
My second question to you is, the great records that you did make, that CEO Mook did with you, were they a challenge to you?
Were they a challenge to me? I'd say it was a challenge for me to actually. It wasn't necessarily the start of the records, because I could always start a record, but it's about finishing the record and completing the record and making sure that 100% I'm like, here you go. Call me back in 5 minutes. Like, I want to be able to, like, when CEO Mook asks me for a record, I want to be able to send him the record, and then he called me back 2 minutes later, like, bro.
That shit is crazy, right?
Yeah.
See,
That's mine.
I challenge him because he never wanted to step out of his comfort zone. I challenged him, and I challenged him one day. You remember Jay-Z and Rel, All This Love for Free?
Yeah.
I challenged him, like, yo, do this. This, we're not going to change it. We're not sampling nothing. We're going to do it.
You trying to do that song?
Yes. Fire.
Right.
Listen to me. Fire.
Love's for free.
That
shit is hot.
No, but he made his own version.
Okay.
I made my own song.
His version was so fire that Rel himself, fire emojis. He's in my DM like, yo, I need to get on this.
Right.
Like Rel himself.
Right.
So then we challenged him again to
It was
Getaway. So it was
but it was the
it was the
Marvin
remix. It was the Marvin Gaye remix
to
but the boss
was it on
something.
my was it I Want You?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Okay,
crazy.
I Want You, but the Underboss
Right,
remix,
it's
Lord
the
Finesse did that.
Underboss that Lord Finesse did.
I took that and made my own song.
Yo,
That
to
sounds fun.
incredible.
Yeah. But see, so look, and we're gonna jump off soon, but I just wanna, like, do you see these challenges as opportunities to expand?
Absolutely, 100%. Because at the end of the day, like, one thing about me is that I'm a lover of music in general. It doesn't matter the genre. There's good and bad music everywhere.
Right.
So for me, it's about the ability to create. It's not necessarily whether I like it or not, or whether I see something in it. It's about the ability to create. If I know I can create it, I can do it again and do it again, and then take certain elements of this here and then chop that up, throw it in here, and make it a nice little smoothie. And now, when I hand you something you never heard before.
So you remind me, remember when Irv gave Ashanti to Mary Jane, the Scarface shit, and she made Baby Baby? That's what you reminded me of, like taking these songs and flipping it on its side and then doing your own version.
See, but you also gotta remember, it took them a long time to do that record.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the right writers to do that record.
Yeah.
I think they went through like maybe 3 different writers to do that record.
Right.
See, a lot of people don't realize, like, even, I'm gonna be honest with you, my wife was even shocked for the first time she ever went in the studio. My wife has never been in the studio with me.
Right.
Never.
Right.
We've been together, we've been together 22 years.
Right.
So I took her in the studio with me one day. Matter of fact, Rock tapped her. I produced it and I wrote the song. She was like,
You a writer?
She's like, yeah, you wrote that, you produced it. My wife never knew. The song is fire, but the girl is gone.
Right.
Girl is definitely gone. She
Right.
was in there drunk, and I just was pissed off.
Right, yeah,
wasted the
nah.
whole session.
We ain't got no time for that.
So,
We ain't wasting no money or no time.
You know, like, see, me, I think, when it comes to music, I think of things that people won't do.
Right.
Nobody's never touched All This Love Is For Free.
Yeah, that's
You
a
wanna know
crazy,
why?
that's a hitter.
Because you don't have writers that can write like that.
Right.
You don't have artists that can get on there and do that.
Right.
So when you touch things, you're touching timeless records.
Right.
But I have the faith in rock that these timeless records will be even 10 times more timeless because we did it.
We gonna flip it, right.
Right. But we flipped it without even touching it. It's gonna cost us an asshole full to clear these samples.
Yeah,
Don't
you
get
gonna
it
have to clear them
twisted.
samples,
But
baby.
I tell you one thing, they gonna eat.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? They
Right.
gonna eat.
So you a writer, huh?
I do sometimes. I just, you know,
Yeah, me too.
we're not gonna get
Me
into
too.
that on
Y'all
this
need to
segment.
get together.
Yeah, me too.
and
We need to get in the studio.
R&B,
Yeah, she's
hip hop.
killing us over here.
I want
Yeah,
to
but-
see that.
But I really want you to understand, you know, I know we're about to get off though.
Yeah.
He's going to be great.
Oh, I know.
Everything is time and patience with us right now because, you know, certain things that, you know, that me and you talked about the other day that I'm looking for, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But God is going to set that blessing on us soon.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you right now, and whoever gives us that,
Right.
they're going to be rich.
I've never heard you speak so highly about an artist in this way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Because he has something that I've never seen before. I told you, I've seen artists that has to go in the studio with an engineer. They got to be in there with this and third. I got tell you, I got top dogs sending me beats. Yo, give this to Rock. Yo, Rock, do this. I don't have to be
you
there.
know, you gotta be on top of it.
That is so. It's so intriguing to me because I always want to be hands-on because I want to make sure, yo, this get done, yo, we need to do this.
Right.
And when he does it and he sends it to me, I listen to it. And I'm like, damn, I can't critique shit.
Would you attribute that to his musical background of being able to play instruments and stuff?
Yes.
Definitely.
I'm
Yes.
telling you, there's a thing there. Like, if you can play instruments, there's a thing. What you got?
Absolutely.
What you got?
I just want to like kind of peek inside of your inspiration and like maybe like when you're in this creative process, are there any like certain things that you have to have or need, or like when you go into this creative? Because I know a lot of time when you're creative, it's not just like a flip the switch, let me go get this going. You know, like what do you do to get yourself into the zone?
Sometimes, honestly, it's
yell
just
that.
Nah. Get off me, cuz.
Get a bag.
But anyway, oh man, nah.
I know, sometimes
Honestly,
I gotta yell at Marlon too.
yeah,
She's not lying.
yeah, right.
She's not lying.
But nah. For me, it's definitely like sometimes I might just have to you know, go back and listen to one of my favorite artists, do a specific record, and kind of just get myself into the mode of like, I have to be great. As much as I love this record, like I have to be that great. Kind of like as like a motivational thing to get me right. Sometimes I have to sit there and just, you know, pray and ask God to guide me in the right direction for whatever I'm doing. Sometimes it's just me sitting there really in silence and kind of like listen back and go from silence back to, you know, listening to the assignment and saying to myself like, how am I gonna do this? It takes different things every single time, but one thing that I will say is like once the spark is lit, it's
right.
It's
easy. Free falling from there.
Yeah.
Once you jump out the plane, it's free fall.
Yeah.
I don't think people take enough, give the power of silence enough credit.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
I drive in silence. Like a lot of time I'm in the office here in silence, like, cause you have to hear hear what needs to come through you. And if you have something playing all the time, you won't.
I practice that shit a lot.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in my office, I'm like,
I sit in silence
I sit in silence a lot, and it's because I've learned exactly what Kai's talking about. It's like you gotta listen, you gotta be able
you
to hear.
have to hear you
and
guys.
every idea that I've come up with, basically over the last 4 years, has either been me talking with my family about it, or me being in perfect silence, or a combination of two. Like I'll think of something in silence, and I'll be like, all right, when I get with Kai and Big Kevin, then I'm gonna talk to them about it. But silence is fucking amazingly underrated.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Sir General has a question, and then I guess we can go. But how do you sacrifice real life situations and still maintain focus?
I don't know I don't know if that's. Shout to Sir General, but we don't. You want to answer that? How do you sacrifice real life situations and stay focused? I guess what he's saying is like, are you, if you out there fucking broads or you partying and shit, like, do you sacrifice those things?
For me, and I think more so I think he's more so talking about along the lines of, having to sacrifice certain things. Like you might have something to do, but you're sacrificing time with the family or things like that. Like, no, I have to work. I gotta work at this. And for me, it's really a balance. It's a lot of me, having self-talk with myself and really realizing like, bro, it's on you whether this thing work or not. It's on you whether this thing will work or not. And you're not just working for yourself. You're working for you, your family, your close loved ones, whoever it is that's in your corner, that's been supporting you, that's been backing you, your managers that's been helping you out, everybody. This isn't just a selfish dream. This is something that everybody is dependent on you to work, to grind, to be successful. It's not a game. A lot of people, it's funny, right? I done sat with some of my best friends and their mothers will be like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm pursuing my career in music. And they're like, oh, that's just a hobby. You need to get yourself right. And I'm like, well, what you need to know is that things are happening and things are getting placed in the right situations. So trust me, this is a real career. This isn't a game. I'm not approaching this like a game. I've sacrificed a lot to even get to this point, and there's plenty more that I'm sure is going to have to, you know, go to the back, because this right here,
Right.
this music that I care so much about, that I've built myself around, is what I want to do. Just like you got to sacrifice your hours to go work, to go put in for something else that you care about. That's what I care about. That's what I love.
I'm gonna tell you something. And we're gonna jump off. Never listen to the criticism of people. Criticism is highly overrated, because when someone talks to you and they tell you shit like it's a hobby, they're speaking from their own limitations. They don't understand how vast the universe is. They don't understand how you can literally do anything you want. They're speaking from a level of limit. So never, ever, ever give any credence to anything that anybody tells you.
Amen.
And we got to practice that, because we grew up our whole lives as kids listening to adults that are limited.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So continue to shine, continue to move in the right direction, continue to be a student of the game, continue to build passion and ambition and desire, have an amazing work ethic, and have an amazing attitude. If you got those things, talent is just icing on the cake. Because I'm telling you, there's motherfuckers that have succeeded because they had great work ethic and attitude. They weren't the most talented.
100%.
They simply had a better work ethic and a better attitude than most people, right? And if you do those things and you connect the dots and keep your team close, you're going to be successful, bro. And I already know that that's the case. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get on, we're going to do best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I'm saying? We're going to do, Mo, stop playing, man. You got to sign me, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do best of both
Can
worlds.
I sing the hook? I just want to sing.
So look, Rock Official is the IG.
Rock Official.
ROQ official. Don't forget the spelling, please.
ROQ
Okay, let's
official.
get down to business now.
All right, now you got to choose the
Okay.
guests, not Moo. You get to choose who won the sneaker awards today.
This
Now
is
I got
my
on the fresh
submission.
ones.
Okay.
I got on the
This is
look
my
at the socks
submission.
though, but look at the socks.
Check
Look at
out
her
the
socks.
palette.
Look at her
I
socks.
see the
She got on
socks.
8-year-old
I
socks.
see the socks.
Look
but
at my
the
socks.
But the socks don't really go with anything else you got
But
on.
that's
So
the
you
point.
You lose points for that.
Nah, but that's the point. 'Cause
No,
the
no,
socks-
Style. That's how you style.
That's how you style,
No,
B.
no, I'm sorry. All right. So look, the ones is dope.
Come
the
on.
ones is dope. But I ain't gonna lie. Just off the sneaker, right?
Right,
We
just
did
off the sneaker,
Just off the sneaker. She, come on, look at it though.
I saw
I'm
her
saying.
lacing. I came here, I saw her lacing them shits up. She just bought them.
She cheated then.
She cheated and she got on
If
her
she
socks.
cheated, if she cheated, then
know what I'm
if she
saying? And she
cheated,
got
then
on
we
her
got
daughter's
it.
socks.
cheat.
But we're gonna have to go back. There's cameras in here, right?
She bought them socks from Cookies. Them is Cookie
I
socks.
had them
But
already.
y'all don't even know how she killed you already. She already posted on Instagram that she won.
Wow. She really cheated. She really
This is
cheated.
foul.
Wow.
This is what's the
Yo,
caption?
why
What she said?
do I cheat when I get when
What's
I
the
win?
caption?
Why is it
Tell
a
me what
cheat
the
when
caption
I
is.
win?
What's her name on Instagram?
Kai.
Kai and
N-Y.
Kenny.
Kai what?
Kai and NY.
Yo, my laundry guy's outside. I gotta call my sister so he.
Okay, I think we're gonna sign off.
Well, we're gonna sign off right
Thanks
now.
so much for
She
joining
said-
us. Make sure you
What she
follow
said?
Rock
What she
Official.
She said,
We love
Live
y'all.
on Hip Hop Live, she said, with Rock Official, I'm all right. I think I won the sneaker.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see y'all next week.
One love.
Peace.
Love.
Dogs, that was amazing. Yeah. That